Hey, sorry for the voice note, and I'm sorry if it sounds super rehearsed. I had to write down bullet points on my notes app to make sure I didn't miss anything. So basically, the interview for the film grant thing, it started fine, even though I started with totally oversharing to the point of nearly crying, because basically I'd overslept this morning, and I still had a bit of a breakdown, even though the interview was at 4:30pm, and me sleeping in late was irrelevant vibes. But in fact, one of the guys in the panel, this guy, I swear he was my lecturer at uni, and he was a cunt to me then, and he's being a cunt to me now. I think his name was Professor Paul Marshland, or whatever his name was. He interrupted me mid-ramble to ask me a question. Can you tell us a little bit more about the film you'd like to pitch for the Blue Moth Bain Bursary? And I have this great system where Ingrid types the question to me on WhatsApp when we're in the Zoom so that I can process and actually answer the question, but also so that we can just bitch about the interviewers while we're just doing our best masking. And I was smirking as I answered the question because Ingrid was typing, well, we already wrote the 10-page proposal you asked for, so why do you need us to tell you again? Anyway, so I was telling him, sorry, that's my dog, Roxy! Yeah, I was telling him about the idea that me and Ingrid had developed, which was a film called Derby Day, and it's about the North London derby and me supporting Spurs and Ingrid supporting Arsenal, and actually it's about race and class and belonging and urban spaces and disability, but also it's just about being a football fan and friendship, I guess. So I was saying this basically word for word, and the guy interrupted me. The guy interviewing me interrupted me and said he thought this was a pitch about the BAME struggle, and then he told me that means black and marginalised ethnics. Just to clarify, scream. And he said it in this drawling, pompous voice that made me want to slam my laptop down and turn off Zoom, but I carried on. Ingrid messaged me in the chat saying, just get to the main bit. So I did, because we both wanted this to end ASAP. I said I know the last few bursary recipients have done horror films, and that this is a horror film basically, but it's about race and struggling and just through the lens of football. And as he watched me talk, he looked at me like I was invisible and delicious and stupid all at once. And anyway, right, sorry, this is long, but Ingrid sent star emojis as if to be you are girl bossing it. And then I started selling our idea. I got to describing the bit where we were in the Arsenal pub and I'd accidentally cheered when Kane scored a goal and everyone started looking at me. The sea of gammon pink, angry, scrunched up Arsenal supporting faces. Honestly, as I was describing it, I had to look around and see if I was still on Zoom and not in the pub, because I really properly felt like I was there. I could smell the stale beer, the sweat of furious, angry men on boiling North London Derby Day, and the stench of death from the oldest man in the corner, who was glaring as hard as someone whose face is in the process of decaying can glare. And honestly, in that moment, I felt like I was going to get murdered. And when I told them this story, I couldn't tell if the interview guy, Marsham, was that his name, was frozen from suspense, or the computer had genuinely frozen. But oh well, their loss. Anyway, so we're back in the pub. I felt like every time a bloke went to pick up a pint, he was going to down it and then smash the glass into my face. They were going to surround me. And they were going to let their old decrepit gooner, their leader, kill me. And when I went to the toilet at half-time, I was telling the interviewers this bit, because it's the twist, the twist! Anyway, when I went to the toilets at half-time, I thought I'd be safe hiding in the cubicles and texting, and I heard Ingrid come in, so I came out to debrief, and when I looked at her, she was so angry, and she smiled and she said that I'd embarrassed her one last time. And then the last thing she said is, with you, bestie, when they find your body, they'll all believe it was suicide, lol. And then everything goes dark. Anyway, so as I told that bit of the story, Ingrid was glaring at me across the room as if to say, why did you say that? And that isn't what we agreed, and why make me the bad guy? Honestly, I just think this is the most interesting way to tell the story. Sorry, this is really long, you don't have to listen to the whole voice message. So back to the pale and decaying man who was interviewing me. He said, haven't your people had enough of these traumatic, miserable stories? We want to commission something uplifting, where you win. And then he smirked, as if to say, that's what stories are for, imagination, lol. And so I finessed my proposal for him. I said I could keep the Derby Day setting, but I could change it easily. I could change it to one where I'm surrounded by these football fans and I kill the worst ones one by one, and the film is a great revenge-type horror. Also, it's autobiographical, lol, and in this moment I was very much vibing as if, like, for once, I'm pitching on my own and I'm doing me. And back to the pub, the worst football guy in the pub, the decaying one. In this new ending, I'd strangle him and torture him and stab him. When I said this, he said he really liked it, lol, and then he leaned over and, he patted my knee with his grey, clammy, liver-spotted hand and said, "As long as you don't get any ideas, Ashley," and I'm pretty sure he was turned on. And then he said the interview was over and guided me out the room like he was escorting a suspected shoplifter out the store. And so anyway, basically, I was totally shocked when he emailed me to say he wanted to commission me, but 5k, hey, and I get to make the football derby day film just like I wanted to. By the time that you get around to listening to this voice note, you're probably on your way to the screening of the film tonight. I just wanted to warn you what kind of pricks they are. And also, the main guy, Paul the cunt marshal, is dead or missing or murdered or whatever. Maybe it was me, maybe it wasn't, no comment. Anyway, I refuse to make any more films about race, disability and trauma porn, and tonight is the new me. Anyway, I present to you the oppositional duality of intersectional suffering, spatial politics, race and disability in the life of a girl constantly on edge because her football stream is on the precipice of collapsing. See you later.